Hello, Internet. I've been really liking the Transformers Combiner Wars line recently, so I figured I would show one of those off. Naturally, I chose the one that doesn't combine at all. This is Combiner Wars Leader Class Megatron. He is a silver tank. I want to say he's an M1 Abrams tank, but I'm not a military hardware expert, so I could be wrong on that one. He is very nice, though. He looks very strikingly silver. Lots of nice ingrained sculpted detail. Lots of tank bits, like there's a hatch for the gun port, some red vents, which will play into his robot mode too. You got rotating turret, which I already showed off. Sadly, the gun does not elevate, but it does. You can do this all you want, which is fun. Down here, you have a viewport instruments for driving the tank, and then in front, you got these bits here. I guess those are supposed to be headlights. You can, peeking under here, see his head, but you're not going to see it very often. On the side, there's paneling, which I believe is supposed to be some kind of like explosive reactive armor. Again, not a tank expert, I just kind of did a 5-minute Wikipedia search. Under here, you've got rubberized treads, and he does, in fact, roll very nicely. Going back here, you do have a bit of a gap back here where you can see, like, these are his fists, back of the cannon, and this bit kind of sticks out. But overall, not a big deal. He does have these ports here, and I'll mention this mold was used to make an Armada Megatron. I think there's supposed to be Minicon ports, but I don't have any Minicons to actually test that theory out. But they are normal 5mm peg ports, so you could do something wacky like, say, take a Legends class, this here's Blackjack, one of the Stunticons, and have him, like, ripping on for dear life as Megatron drives along. Or, anything you could do with a hole that big. In fact, I think since he has a port to become a chest plate, I think you'd have him, like, peg him in here right on top. I mean, you just have him sitting on top anyway, but now he's got a peg in there, so that's cute. But yeah, overall, I like the tank mode quite a bit, and I believe the tank fits Megatron very well. A couple additional kind of like undocumented things is if you don't like this bit back here, you can pop this off, flip it up, and it will cover. Just make sure these two tabs kind of fold over, and that will cover the fists back here. Unfortunately, it also will kind of prevent the turret from rotating. So I'm fine with the way this looks by default. And I like the rotating turret quite a bit. And then finally, you will notice these things, gun and this missile launcher on his on the turret. You can, if you don't like these, you can pull them off, and they will. Under here, there's a couple little pegs, or holes I should say, that you can just slot these into, and they will just stash out of the way. And what's nice is, if you do this, he will in fact still roll just fine. So, yeah, but like I said, overall, he's a pretty good tank. Now we can transform him on camera. That'll be fun. So transform him, I removed these already. And you basically unpeg this bit by, like I did before, and you fold it up that way. Just kind of leave it like that. And if you go under here, these side things are tabbed in right there. You just loosen those up a bit, which lets these bits fold, these front treads fold up like that, and these will fold all the way down. I think you see where this is going. Those are legs. You flip these down with a nice, very heavy click, and you've got feet. So, nice chance to reorient. So you're now looking at the top of tank mode. In fact, he is a very sizable fellow. So here you have turret. You just split this apart, And this is how it rotates, even though you split in half. This is like a little cylindrical thing. That's pretty cool. Flip this down, and there you have the chest. Flip this bit up here, around that way, and he now has a proper crotch plate. That just leaves the arms. Pretty simple. These parts fold up, though in this case the cannon does like to get in the way, so I kind of rotate it out of the way. It does rotate on this axis for for moving into robot mode. You just flip that out, and this part compresses. So there you've got his fusion cannon. And you're mostly done at this point. These can slide down like this. And if you want to leave it like this, you can, but I prefer to fold it up, and these do just peg together. So he's got a nice compressed backpack there. I think it looks pretty good. And there you have Megatron. He does look very, very kind of stiff in this method, or this pose. So give him a little bit of movement. Gets in posability, but now he looks a bit better. Okay, so I put Megatron back into that stock still pose just to illustrate a point. That being, like, this promo photos I saw, this guy had him in this position, and I did not like it at all. I wouldn't have even looked at him if, considered purchasing him if I didn't know that he could do other positions. So just be aware of that, we spread his legs a little and move one forward, have him do a walking thing. It helps immensely with the impression of him. So now he's gonna shoot us all and kill us because he's evil. Overall, the robot mode is very reminiscent of the Megatron in the IDW comics currently, save for one important detail, which they actually do kind of account for, but I'll get to that. Vehicle mode, I'm not so sure on, because I don't recall him transforming. Probably he transforms in some kind of tank thing, but I don't know if it's going to be an Earth mode tank or some kind of Cybertronian tank, but the robot mode looks very, very similar. There's nice details I have to point out, especially this Megatron head, because when I think of Megatron, G1 Megatron heads, that is a G1 Megatron head to me. It looks fantastic. Bucket-headed, angry, like he wants to kill everybody. Okay, so really quickly, he does have light piping. Hopefully this shows off well enough. You just kind of see it there. And I apologize, I'm doing this with a tablet's flashlight app because I don't have an actual very bright flashlight. I have a little lantern thing. It's just kind of lame. But, he's got some nice light piping. You can see the gem back there. But you've got nice lines, sculpted details, vents, looking very, very much like the G1 Megatron. Despite not being gun. Fusion cannon is a little weird, in my opinion. It sits up here, which is a necessity for it to actually transform. They could have gotten it straight on the arm, but I think it would have involved removing the can itself entirely. So, not a big deal. But he looks good, and as far as posability goes, he's not too bad either. Got rotation in the head. He can look up a bit. He can look down more, so, Megatron looking down upon people. Like us. Shoulder, he's got a rotation. An extension, though, it gets weird once you get to this point. And then, that. It looks, or I should say it works fine. It looks a bit odd just because I think it all relies on this post bit, and I think it's a bit low on the shoulder. It's not, terrible though. I mean, like, you do this, it looks weird, but do that, it's fine. It's a little bizarre. Bicep swivel. elbow goes fully straight and then 90 degrees. And you will notice basically everything on this guy is a nice clicky ratchet joint. The wrist rotates. Ignore this moving, this is from transformation. No like ball joint or anything, but the wrist does rotate, so that's nice. You do have waist movement, but the way I have the backpack hinders it, so I'm gonna undo that. But you can have them go, fully sideways if you like. But if you have this here, this being here, kind of, I mean, he can rotate a little, but not nearly as much. So you get to the hips. He can kick forward a little bit, not too big. The groin armor stops it. Leg goes all the way back just fine, and it goes all the way out to the side just fine, so he can spin kick somebody. The knee does that much, so he's not going to be sitting down or anything. And then the ankle goes forward a little bit. This lets you do like a mid-walk pose if you want. So yeah, something bizarre. Megatron doing limbo? I don't know. Like, let's see if I show up. Yeah, something like that with the ankle. And a little bit of thigh rotation here, and it actually exposes some detail right there. So, not, he's not super posable, but I never really expect Megatron to be, doing Spider-Man poses. For accessories and features, he does have guns. Well, gun and the missile from the tank mode, and they do combine because this is Combiner Wars, and everything's going to combine. So you can either have him hold that as kind of a long rifle. I'm not super fond of this. I mean, it looks okay, but I don't know. He's got a giant gun. I don't think you need to be holding another gun. You could separate them, stick one on here and one on here, if you want to do that. But what I like to do is flip this way so this is sticking up, and have this kind of how he has a smaller gun on the length of his arm, kind of reminiscent of like the pistol from War for Cybertron, I guess. That's just why I picture it as. But you do whatever you want with it. Those should be down. Also note back, he's got these two things if you have minicons. Same with the shoulder. The fusion cannon. It does move around a bit if you stick the elbow straight. You can have him, running the full length of the arm. I don't really like this, but you could do that if you want, and you can rotate around a bit. It also has a firing missile, which also works in tank mode. I just kind of forgot to show it off. We're going to show it off now. So we're going to make sure it's in here. We're going to fire it at my wall right here, and we are probably about to lose this missile, but that's okay. Yeah, it's on the floor. I will grab it later. We don't need the missile anymore. If you're in tank mode, the button's just right here, so not a big deal. Anyway, overall, pretty nice. We're going to get him standing straight again so we can do a measurement with my handy dandy ruler. I'm going to say it's like 9-ish inches, like 8 1/4 or 9 to the head, and then another ½ inch or so with the back thing. For a more direct comparison, because I'm sure someone's wondering what he would look like next to an Optimus Prime. I don't have an Optimus Prime handy at the moment, but I do have the next best thing. This is Voyager Motormaster. He is, in fact, the exact same mold as the Combiner Wars Optimus. So yeah, Optimus will be a bit smaller. On the other hand, Optimus combines with 4 other Autobots to become a giant super robot. So he's got that on Megatron. Then moving down the line, we have Deluxe Off-Road, who, we'll see, he would come up about to Megatron's garage. And finally, as Off-Road goes tumbling down, stay, we have the previously shown Blackjack. By the way, yes, I could have actually shown off Combiner, and I probably will later, but I like this Megatron a lot. So we shall evac them to the side. As I mentioned, though, just now, I do like this Megatron. He's probably my favorite Megatron. The only other one that really comes to mind is me liking this much is the original Transmetal Megatron from Beast Wars. That said, I don't own a ton of Megatrons because I don't like Armada. I wasn't really big on any of the Unicron Drill Do stuff, and I didn't have money to buy stuff when Animated was going. And we won't talk about the movies. But no, I really do like this Megatron. I think, he's not a gun, so he's not authentic to G1, but he's a tank. Megatron being a tank's badass. He's not reliant on Starscream to shoot people in his alt mode. And he's big, he's bulky. It's something you can murder people with, so that's fitting of Megatron. I will note, I don't have these, I kind of lost them. He did come with some stickers. They were just some markings right here, and spoilers for IDW comics in case anyone reads them. An Autobot symbol for him. I lost them. I didn't really use them because they're on a white background, which clashes horribly with this, very beautiful silver. So that's not a huge loss, but yeah, overall, great Megatron. Like, the posability could be a little better and a little more natural, I guess, on the ratchets, like being able to stop, being able to move them a little more. I don't know how to put it. Like, they click. Like, I want to click between this one and this one, just so I can have them standing without being like perfectly straight-legged or like that. He's about to dance, but yeah, those are just minor nitpicks. Like I said, if you like G1 Megatron, I would say go for this. Anyway, that will be all for now, and I will be back probably with an actual Combiner at some point. Either Superion or Menasor, because I don't have Defense War yet, save for the chest plate. So, yeah. Till then, keep on holding Hot Rod hostage. Bye, everyone.